Before the dawn of time, before the first star pierced the cosmic void, there existed a realm of unimaginable beauty and perfection. Here, in this celestial paradise, dwelt the angels, beings of light and power, created to serve and worship the Almighty. Vast fields of cloud and light stretched beyond sight, pillars of radiant mist and vaulted heavens glowing with a calm so absolute it felt like silence made visible. Rays of pure divine light filtered through arches of gold, and every breath of that realm shimmered with music, a constant harmony that upheld the very order of being. In that timeless morning, nothing yet trembled. Creation lay pristine, awaiting its appointed course. Among all the heavenly host, one angel stood above the rest. His name was Lucifer, the morning star, the bearer of light. Created as the most magnificent of all angels, Lucifer possessed beauty beyond mortal comprehension. His form radiated with a light that seemed to hold miniature dawns. His wings shimmered with celestial fire and pearl, and his voice could command the very stars themselves. He moved with sovereign grace, a presence that drew the gaze of angels and formed the center of many a hymn. To behold him was to behold a perfection of craft and purpose. He was both celestial artisan and living proclamation of God's brilliance. In those ancient days, Lucifer's glory was unmatched among the angels. He led the heavenly choir in songs of praise that echoed through the corridors of eternity, each note catching and multiplying like prisms of sound. His wisdom was profound, counsel sought by seraph and cherub alike, and his power immense, entrusted with duties close to the throne. He moved through heaven as a sun among constellations, his counsel shaping rites, and his presence stabilizing the harmony of the host. The other angels looked upon him with reverence and trust. He was the crown jewel of God's creation, the herald of light whose radiance seemed to bind the hierarchy together in holy order. But perfection, when gazed upon too long, can become a mirror of vanity. Slowly, subtly, Lucifer's eyes began to turn inward. Where once he had reflected God's glory like a flawless prism, he began to linger on his own radiance. The way his light gilded the archways, the way praise seemed to rise at his approach. Pride, that most ancient of sins, took root in his heart like a seed planted in fertile soil. He told himself small, convincing lies. Does not my light outshine others? Is my counsel not unmatched? Those murmurs grew into insistence. Admiration hardened into a craving for homage, and what began as wonder became a mirror that whispered, "Behold me." From pride grew a darker seed, ambition. As Lucifer contemplated his own magnificence, a terrible thought took shape. Why should I serve? Am I not beautiful enough to be worshipped? Am I not powerful enough to reign? The questions were soft at first, then sharpened into a plan. He rehearsed rebuttals against the altar of duty, convinced himself that rule would refine heaven's order rather than rend it. Ambition painted a future where he sat upon a throne, not as servant, but as sovereign. In the hush after praise, his ambitions sounded like a promise, and the promise fed a hunger that no chorus of angels could satisfy. Lucifer's rebellion did not remain hidden for long. With silver tongue and persuasive words, he began to whisper his discontent to other angels, weaving doubts into the soft places of their hearts. "We are mighty beings," he said. "Why should we serve when we could rule?" His charisma was intoxicating, his arguments dressed in the language of justice and freedom. He pointed to glory and suggested a new order. He named grievances and promised remedy. One by one, angels found themselves swayed, some by vanity, some by curiosity, others by longing for power. The movement grew, quiet at first, then like a rising gale, until a third of the heavenly host had pledged their allegiance to the morning star's cause. Then came the war that shook the very foundations of heaven itself. The sky, once a calm sheet of divine light, erupted into cosmic battle as angel fought against angel. Light clashed against light. Clouds rolled and split. Lightning lanced the firmament. and sound multiplied into a thunderous chorus of battle cries and clashing steel. Michael the Archangel, radiant in purpose, rose as the bulwark of the Almighty, his banner blazing truth, while Lucifer marshaled his rebel host with a fury made terrible by beauty turned bitter. Swords of fire met shields of light. Wings beat like the drums of war, carving hurricane gusts that scattered embers and stray hymns. The duel between Michael and Lucifer became the storm's heart. Flashes of divine energy braided into strikes and parries, each blow reshaping the heavens' architecture. Angels fell and rose, choirs of war replacing choirs of praise, and the very air crackled with an intensity that felt like creation itself being tested. Thunder split into cascades of light. Lightning painted the angels in stark chiaroscuro. The clash was titanic, a ballet of wrath and fidelity, and for a breathless eternity, the fate of all things hung on the edge of those celestial blades. But rebellion against the Almighty could have only one outcome. In the crescendo of that terrible conflict, Lucifer, for all his beauty and cunning, faced the immutable will of the Creator. The rebel host was broken. In a moment of divine judgment, their ranks gave way. He and his followers were defeated and cast down from their heavenly home like lightning hurled into a fathomless night. Down, down they plummeted through the cosmic void, through fields of dying light and the shards of blown choirs, their glory peeling away, their brightness dimming into smoke and ember. The heavens closed behind them, sealing an absence that rang like an open wound in the once unblemished sky. In that terrible fall, Lucifer the morning star died, and from his ashes rose Satan, the adversary, the fallen one. His beauty curdled into something terrible, his light inverted into a cold, cunning darkness that mocked what it once mirrored. Where songs of praise had swelled, now roars of hatred and accusation rose, a constant litany against the throne he had once served. The angel who had once stood closest to God's presence now found himself banished, stripped of intimacy and purpose, consigned to a realm where rebellion breeds torment. Thus began the long, bitter conflict between good and evil, light and shadow, a story that would echo through the ages. Even as heaven resumed its praise, the memory of that fracture remained, a caution carved into the annals of eternity. When pride crowns itself, even the fairest light can become a consuming flame.